What's going on? What's going on, everybody out there? Y'all know what day it is. It is Friday, October the 2nd, 2020. It is the first live stream Friday of the month. When you come in, make sure y'all hit that like button, share the stream on all social media platforms that you are on. We have a very loaded show today because a lot has happened this week. A lot has happened this week. From the beginning of the week to today, and still stuff going on. Let's see, who do we have so far in the chat? Chris Glover, Darlene, BJ, Sean from the Shy, JNet, DNJ30. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Live from NYC, Andre. Salute to everybody who is here so far. Got Ashen. Make sure, like I said, to come in and like the stream, share it with everybody as far as and as wide as you possibly can. We got a lot to talk about today. And if y'all follow me on Twitter, y'all already know, well, two of the main topics that's going to be discussed, but I'm going to save those toward the end since everybody will be here. What's going on? Young Manhood, Elemental, Talking and Grubbing, Isaiah, Milton, Harley, Akira, B1C University, Leslie, Dana, Gemini. What's going on? What's going on? Let's see what's going on, Mark. Shout out to everybody who is here so far. Let's see, Tawana, Gold Professor. Glad everybody is coming in ever so swiftly. That is always a good thing. What's going on, Quincy? Let's see what's going on, Jerome. What's going on, All Things Question? I like that's an interesting name. Let's see what's going on, Robbie. What's going on, Ruben Faulkner? And shout out to everybody who is watching from wherever you are watching in the world. I see somebody said they were from Germany. I see the Caribbean is in here. Let's see. Mark said, I was waiting all day for this. Listen, I was waiting all day for this too. And I know, like, trust me. It, like I said, that's why I'm glad I do these Friday live streams, because like I said, there's a lot of stuff that happens during this week or during every week that I can't cover every single topic every day. Like, for instance, of course, the topic I'm going to discuss with that jigaboon, Daniel Cameron. It's no way I could have been able to talk about him every single day this week, because every day, literally this week, there was something new that came out about him in relation to the Breonna Taylor case, like every day. So imagine if I was to do a video about that every single day, I would drain myself. So I said, you know what? Let me just wait until Friday and just dump everything in on that day. And trust and believe, it's a lot to dump just on that topic alone. But of course, I wouldn't talk about that topic in the beginning. I will wait toward the end when there's many more people here, because then people are going to come to me and say, oh, I missed it. Or why did you talk about it so early? So that's probably going to be like the last topic, or at least one of the last topics I'm going to cover on this stream. And for good reason. And I'm saying it now just in case people come by the video and maybe they didn't catch the live stream. They can listen to the playback so they can hear me say, if that was the section they wanted to listen to, then they can just go and jump and skip right ahead to that part of the stream. But let's see who else we got in here. The My Voice channel, the Leah 2344, Solo Dolo Syndicate, Everyday Peoples. You're not late. I just started. You're literally not late. I haven't even started talking about anything yet. Grand Rising, shout out to you. Shout out to Pisces the King. Appreciate you, Gold Professor. First donation of the day, supporting the channel. I appreciate you. Oh, Sean from the Shy. Trust and believe. What I talked about with the jigaboon, known as Daniel Cameron, previously is nothing compared to how I'm about to go in on his ass today. Trust and believe. He deserves all the smoke and then some that he's receiving right now from either his constituents or people from the outside. Let's see who else we got in here. Pop, Onaya, Shelly, Reve, Trumel, Komet God Reloaded, Michael Grant. We're going to talk about all of that. I have a pretty to be honest, I don't even have that many topics lined up. But when I get to the part involving 45 and Daniel Cameron, just those two topics right there alone takes up the bulk of the stream, because so much happened involving them, more so Daniel Cameron. But of course, we all know what happened with 45 last evening or earlier this morning. But we won't get to that. But before I get into that, I just wanted to talk to y'all briefly about what's been going on lately with my channel. Those of you, of course, who follow me know that I think I have been shadow banned again for the umpteenth time. I don't know how many times I have been shadow banned on this platform, but it's been quite a bit. Let me adjust this mic right quick. But I think I've been shadow banned again. I don't know how many times in a row, but you know, it is what it is. But I had went into my analytics, and I'm going to switch up the upload schedule. Shout out to you, Tremel, for the $10 super sticker. Appreciate you. But I'm going to switch up my upload schedule. So many of you know that I do 4 videos a day, 9 a.m., 12 p.m., 4 p.m., 8 p.m. Well, I went into my analytics the other day after I realized my channel was shadow banned. And based on the uploads and how it's set up with people and how they view my channel, as far as who views it or gets the most views at a particular time, I'm going to go from uploading 4 videos a day to 3 videos a day. Reason being is because when I did a little bit of research, it says that YouTube only sends out the notifications for 3 videos per day. So say you have somebody who uploads like 10 videos a day, which to me is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know how you can upload 10 videos a day unless all you do is live with the camera on 24/7. Only 3 out of those 10 videos would send notifications out, and you don't know which videos will have the notification sent out. So to play it safe, instead of me doing 4 videos a day, I'm gonna do 3. So you're only losing 1 video per day, and it's going down to 3. Also, I'm changing up the time. So there will be no more 9 o'clock uploads, because when I looked at my analytics, it was basically saying that not many people are watching my channel at that time of the day. So my first upload will be at 10 o'clock a.m. because that's when they find that more people are watching my channel or start to watch it in that particular day. Then I'm gonna keep the 4 p.m. and the 8 p.m. because in the 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. slot, that's when they said people are really watching my channel, is at those 2 times. But at the 10 a.m., I wanted to have something that was in the morning, but not too early. So the new times, the new upload schedule will be 10 a.m., 4 p.m., and 8 p.m. And salute to everybody who is coming into the chat. I'm sorry I can't see what's going on right now because I'm looking at the webcam, which is over here. Appreciate you, Sean, for the donation. Said can't bring you a drink, so you get it for auntie. Appreciate you. James Gilchrist, he says, can there be another White History Month? I'm not sure that White History Month is edged in history, but I'm glad people actually ask me still to this day about that. And it's crazy because I did that White History Month now 3 years ago. It's been 3 years. I did over 3 years because I did it back in June of 2017. And people still to this day ask me about that series. But I'm glad that y'all asked me about it. But I don't think I'm going to go back and do that again because I'm going to be honest with you. When I did my White History Month, it took me like a good week to compile all those names together. And then, well, actually, it took me longer. It took me about a good month to compile all those names together. And I did it in October of 2016 and recorded the videos the first week of May. Like I literally recorded a certain amount of videos per day in the month of May and then just started rolling them out in June. But everybody loved that series. People was actually shocked that my channel didn't get shut down behind that series, to be quite honest. I was kind of shocked that my channel still thrived after that. But, you know, I'm glad people still love that series. That was actually the beginning of me doing a series of videos on my channel. It was that series of videos right there that kicked it all off. So you can thank the White History Month for giving you series like Triple P and the Taurean Rage and what else? The Sundown series and, you know, the Palm Wars. The White History Month pretty much was the Pandora's box that opened up for me doing series like different series style videos on my channel, just to kind of switch it up, because everyone knows me for uploading, just the regular standard videos, but they never knew me to do a consistent level of commentary that could be brought to you on a rather consistent basis or a weekly basis, sort of like how the Sundown series is. But I think that was all I had to mention as far as my channel goes. But I'll probably mention it again at the end, because there's still some people that's still coming in right now. But like I said, the new upload schedule, put it in your phone if you have to save it, just in case they don't send the notifications out, will be 10 a.m., 4 p.m., and 8 p.m. Like I said, I'm cutting out one video because, like I said, YouTube says that they don't send out the notifications for more than 3 videos a day. So I figure if I upload 3 videos, y'all should hopefully get the notifications for all 3 of them, but we'll see. Exactly, Black Reality TV. You got it. 10 a.m., 4 p.m., 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And shout out to everybody else who has come to join. Don't worry, y'all are not late. Y'all haven't missed anything yet, because I haven't gotten into the topics. I was just going over some changes for my channel. I haven't gotten into one topic yet. But we are about to get started, because we definitely have way over the amount of people in here that I usually go for. But like I told you in a couple live streams back, I'm not really checking for that anymore. But we definitely got way more people in here than I thought we would, and that was just on the intro. So imagine what it's going to be like as we start to dive into these topics, which I'm about to do right now. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Let's see. And the first topic we will be talking about is Kingface. Now, I'm gonna be quite honest with you. I wasn't too familiar with this guy. I mean, I've heard stories about him, and most people, well, those who wore them hats like he has in that picture, were more friends of him than anything else. But he was supposed to be, I guess, the hype man for MAGA, for Make America Great Again. But anyway, a couple months ago, he ended up in the hospital, and I think they said he fell into a coma. I'm not sure exactly what he died from, but he did die earlier this week. And I can honestly say I didn't really feel anything about it. I didn't even make a triple P about it, because I didn't really feel like I needed to do so. I said, I already know them people over there, and who he catered to and who he rapped to, I should say, were probably feeling butthurt. But you know who probably was feeling the most butthurt out of this than anybody? Probably the Coonstress. I swear, this guy right here was probably the only black man that she was ever seen hugged up with or in very close proximity with. I swear, if she could allow him to give her the D, she probably would. And you know that woman probably ain't never messed with a black man a day in her life. Ashton, you said he died of COVID, even though he was in a coma. So I wonder, did he have something else, and COVID was also a factor as well? Because I don't know if I heard of him dying of COVID, but you know, it is what it is. But like I said, Candace Owens, I said I bet she was probably crying, as Lovely T says, tattooed tears when she found out about his passing. But he had been in a coma for like a few months now. I think they said he went into a coma like in July, and he stayed there. Like, he never recovered. Now, I don't know if any of you watch The Amazing Lucas, but it was no secret that he did not like Kingface. As a matter of fact, to prove how petty he was when he said he didn't like him, he did a whole live stream where in the title he called him Queen Face. Yes, I actually did hear some rumors where they said he did have HIV or AIDS or some kind of life-altering STD. I did hear that, but I'm not going to say that's what he had, because those were just rumors. But I did hear those rumors that he did have the unfortunate gift that keeps on giving. But yeah, he was known to tap dance. for Make America Great Again. So, it is what, and look at what it says on the shirt. It says conservative thug. That's what it says on his shirt. It says conservative thug. Jerome, you said there's women coming out telling on him. Well, like I said, it needs to, if it can come up in an autopsy report that that's what he had, then okay, then that was a complication. But if it doesn't come up, then it was just a rumor. But you saying women are coming out and saying that that's what he had and everything like that. And I think he was married. His wife, if he had that, I'm gonna need his wife or his now widow to go to the clinic ASAP and see what's going, make sure she ain't got nothing. But it is what it is. Let's move on to the next story. So they finally caught the person who ambushed, quote unquote, the two terrorists in Compton, California. They finally caught him 2.5 weeks later. And his name is Deontay Lee Murray. I never found a picture of him. They just gave his name and his age. And they said apparently he was already in custody for unrelated carjacking charges. So y'all had him the whole time and y'all just now realizing he was the one that did it. That just shows you the incompetence of that department. And of course, Alex Villanueva, which, by the way, speaking of Alex Villanueva, they said they just passed something called the Kobe Law or the Kobe Bryant Law or the Kobe Bryant Bill, where it makes it illegal for you to take pictures of a murder scene or a tragedy scene, like what his department did, and put it out there for public consumption. I think they said that you'll get like a $1,000 fine. You should get way more than that, in my honest opinion. And shout out to Vanessa Bryant for basically pushing that along. But they should get way more than a $1,000 fine for doing something as harsh and disturbing and disgusting as that. But they said that they caught him, or that they got him in custody. They said he pled not guilty to the charges in both cases. And this happened back on September 12th. And it is now October 2nd. And they just caught him on September 30th, which was 2 days ago. So he's been on the run for like 2.5 weeks. Basically, the streets was not about to give him up. They said he was remanded in prison with a bail set at $6.15 million and is due back in court in November. So I guess we'll be keeping our eye on this and see what's going to come of this. But I still think that it's way more to it than what they're saying, because they dragged their feet to try to catch this guy. And also, that guy that they put out there that they assumed was the one that did it, I think I talked about him not last week or maybe the week before. He needs to sue whoever put his information out there and try to say that it was him and that it wasn't him. Long Distance 808 said Deontay ain't from Mexico, I'm betting. Not with a name like Deontay. Most definitely not. But yeah, they allegedly have him as of right now. And they said he had been in custody since his arrest on the 15th of September. So wait a minute. So he was already in custody for a whole 15 days. And y'all just now realized that the person who was in custody for carjacking was the same person who did the shooting allegedly. Like I said, the straight incompetence of it all. I don't know how Big Rich 313. I have no idea how tall this person is. It's kind of hard to tell from that camera footage. It was real grainy. But anyway, Let me move on. So it looks like the happiest place on earth is turned into one of the most dreadful places to work, or used to work, because according to this article right here, it says Disney lays off 28,000 people to lose jobs as the woo-woo impacts U.S. theme parks. And I think that's a combination of California and Florida. And I'm willing to bet most of them are probably in. You know what's so crazy? I was going to say most of them probably in Florida, but it's probably an even amount, because if you think about it, Ron DeSantis and Gavin Newsom, as of right now, have both completely opened their states up, like completely opened it up. And how ironic that after that happens, this happens. And where is Disney World? In Florida. Where is Disneyland? California. And this says layoffs, but I won't be surprised if it turns into a whole firing. Like they get completely straight up fired from their jobs. So that means if they get fired, they may not be able to file for unemployment. 28,000 people. That is a lot of jobs lost. And the thing is, it's not like it happened in stages. It happened all at once. Imagine you getting ready to come into work and they give you a call on your way in and say, well, so-and-so, we know we're going to have to lay you off right now because of, the virus and everything is getting out of control. We don't know what to tell you. Hopefully everything will get settled and you'll be able to come back. But if not, we'll understand. Here's the number to unemployment. And what's so crazy is this is going to continue to rise. And I'm not just talking because of at Disney, but I'm talking about any place. You're right, Sean. He says laid off in today's climate means fired, unfortunately. Exactly. So that means they're going to get fired. They won't be able to file for unemployment, which means they're going to have to try to scrape to find a source of income. And the homeless rate and the eviction rate just this year alone is through the roof, because people can't pay their bills. They can't pay mortgages. They can't pay their rent. None of that, because they can't work. And see, working at Disney or a Disney park is not an essential job. They don't need to have you there. Now, that doesn't mean they fired every staff member, but I think they said that they fired pretty much almost all of their part-time employees. As a matter of fact, it says it right here. At least 67% of people affected by the decision are part-time workers. Now, what if those part-time workers are retired? Like they've worked all the years they could at a full-time job, and they decided to work here as a part-time job. That means that's one source of income that they've lost, and they got to rely on what, AARP or Social Security, whatever's left of it. You're right, Latoya. She said the airlines laid off thousands of folks. You're right about that. The airlines, I think last week, laid off a lot of people. A lot of people got laid off. And the airline industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry. So, yeah, it's getting weird. And I actually posted a question, and I'm going to ask y'all in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you think that we are going to go back and we're going to go into another quarantine period like we did at the beginning of the year. If you don't think we are, put a 2. Let me say it again. Put a 1 in the chat if you think we're going to go into another quarantine period like we did earlier this year. Put a 2 if you think we won't. Okay, so I'm seeing pretty much a marathon of 1. So I think the consensus stands. And I saw somebody leave a comment. I see 1, 2. James said 3. It'll be a quarantine, but not as bad. So I'm seeing A lot of ones. I'm seeing a couple of twos and an interesting three. So you said the next pandemic is going to be 10 times worse. Wait for December. And I think what's scary about it is because flu season is coming. Flu season is right around the corner. And since people want to say, oh, this is nothing more than the flu on steroids, okay, well, flu season is about to be here. So we about to find out. Flu season kicks in what? Next month? And runs all the way through what? Early March? So we about to find out. What's going on, True Royal? Oh, Leslie, trust and believe me, I don't trust no kind of vaccine they plan to try to bring up on us. At least not right now. How you gonna create a vaccine for something that happened in the year that it happened? That's absurd. But yeah, hopefully these Disney employees have something on the back burner that'll help them get over the hump. Like someone said in the chat, this is the perfect time to go into business for yourself. There are plenty of online businesses out there that don't require a lot of overhead. And I would suggest that you do that because brick and mortar businesses are starting to look very, very bleak right now. Better take a lesson from Jeff Bezos and see if you can get in like that, even though he pretty much cornered the whole damn market. But anyway, let's move on to the next story. And that is Eve. Oh, Eve done put her whole foot in her mouth. It's such a shame because, back then, I don't think it was a black man on the planet who knew of Eve who did not have a crush on Eve. But Eve just recently did an interview on TV One in which she made a statement that had a lot of people talking. And she says she doesn't think about race when it comes to her white husband. The rapper says their relationship has come a long way. This coming from the same woman who said a couple of years ago that her husband tamed her. I've had a problem with her ever since she said that. Now, here's the interesting thing. Eve says she doesn't think about race when it comes to her white husband. Would Eve say that if she had a black husband? That's what I'd like to know. I doubt she's watching this video, but I'll say it again. Would Eve have made that statement if she had a black husband? I highly doubt it. Now, this guy clearly is older than she is. He's clearly older than her. He already has like 3 kids, and his kids are like all over the age of like 12. So they're all pretty much headed into grown-up territory. He doesn't have any toddlers, but he has not one child with her. And they've been married for how long? They could have. You mean to tell me there was no way that she could have had just one kid with him? And I haven't heard any stories about her being unable or having the inability to have children. I haven't heard any stories saying that she has complications getting pregnant. That's when a lot of us really started to look at her with the side eye. But what I hate is that you had a lot of divestors. I hate that I have to bring them up, but I have to for the sake of argument, who will come to her aid and say things like, well, black men didn't treat her right. Shout out to you, Solo Dolly, says Zaddy Winch broke her good and will continue to do so. Black men don't appreciate her and everything like that, which is why she ended up with this white man who's a billionaire and all types of stuff like that. It's the same argument and talking points that they use when it comes to talking about Serena Williams. Oh, black men didn't appreciate Serena Williams. They didn't like her. They call her this, that, and the third, although she ended up marrying a white man who not only earns less than her, way less than her, but also was the founder of a website that had continuously over the years made very ill racist comments about her, such as calling her an ape, a gorilla, darky, masculine, all types of things. But Eve has now treaded when she, you know what, when Eve says that she doesn't think about race when it comes to her white husband, you know what that spells out to me? That now Eve has treaded into Karen territory. Because you know, Palm Color love to say that they don't see color. They love to say they don't see color. Let's see. It says Eve has been married to British millionaire Maximilian Cooper since 2014 after a 4-year courtship that began in 2010. Their shout out to Live from NYC as watch Cardi B take the same route. Now listen. If Cardi B does that, then there's hope for many out there to pull off what Eve is doing right now. It says their interracial relationship has existed throughout turbulent times in the United States that have saw racial tensions heighten in unimaginable levels with the deaths of Trayvon Martin, George Floyd, Sandra Bland, Breonna Taylor, Tamir Rice, and countless other Black people. Though she has lived in the UK with Cooper for years, she experienced the collective pain of Black Americans during this time, and it has transformed the pair's relationship. Now look at that. She doesn't even live in the States anymore. The only time Eve is here in the States is when she's filming the show The Talk. Other than that, according to this, she's in the UK. As if they don't have racism over there. It may not be outright blatant like it is here, but then again, I can't call it because I'm not in the UK. And over the course of their love, which has evolved to understand how race informs their experiences on both sides, Eve says that they have had and still do have conversations about race. In a clip released by TV One for Uncensored, Eve discussed how race factors into the relationship now. Eve says she no longer thinks about race after marrying her white husband, Maximilian Cooper. The couple lives in the UK, but does have conversations about injustices seen in America. I don't think about our race when we first got together. Yeah, of course, I had never been with a white guy, seriously like that. So yeah, I definitely thought about it, but we are so honest with each other that we have discussions, and that's a beautiful thing. I'm curious, what discussions do they have? Are they intense discussions or are they softball discussions? That's what I'd like to know. Because you can have conversation, but what kind of conversations are you having? Is the question. That's the real question there. What are y'all talking about? I'm almost inclined to want to watch this interview to see if they ask that question. Because if I was interviewing her, I would ask her, what kinds of conversations are you having? Like, what are you talking about exactly? Because mind you, like I said, Eve does not have any children with this man. So it's not like they would have to have a discussion with their child that they had together about race. All his kids are from his previous wife, and all of them are white. So a conversation with them about race would be completely different with how she would have it if she had a child with this guy, because by societal standards, that child would not be seen as white, even though it had a white father. Appreciate you, Gold Professor Hypergamy. Very strong, very strongly. Very. But like I said, I doubt she would say or make this comment if she had a Black husband. I highly doubt it. But let me go ahead and get off of Eve and head to another mammy, Kamala Harris. Now, y'all know, I'm sorry, Clown Mala. That's what I'm calling her, Clown Mala. Now, y'all know I just recently did a video talking about Clown Mala Harris. That's my nickname for her. In which she did an interview with Angela Rye and basically said that when Angela asked her who's her favorite rapper who is alive right now, and she said Tupac, that was cringy. But this right here was even cringier. Clown Mala Harris calls late Ruth Bader Ginsburg the notorious B.I.G. Is she serious? So first, you listened to Snoop when you was in college. The best rapper alive, in your opinion, is Pac, even though he's been dead since 1996. And now you refer to a dead white woman as the Notorious B.I.G., who was an actual rapper who died back in 1997. I already felt some type of way when you had a lot of palm-colored liberal women refer to Ruth Bader Ginsburg as the Notorious RBG as it is. Appreciate you, Kamal Mao. This is according to Neely Fuller. Both are mates to their white hubbies. Most likely, I can see it. I can see it. And I'm looking like, this is who y'all support? I mean, the blatant disrespect for you to refer to this woman as one of our icons, one of our legends, who unfortunately did not live long enough, him or Pac, in my honest opinion, to really reach their full potential. But for the little bit of time we did have them, left a huge impact not only on hip hop, but black culture as a whole. And referred to her, and I bet you she probably just laughed it off as if it was a joke. But this is who people support. This is who people want to be their next vice president. She is a piece of work. I'm telling you. Like I said, I was gonna do a video on this, but I said, nah, I'm gonna wait to flame her ass on this live stream. She is a ditzy individual. Like, this woman has more blonde moments than most Karens. My goodness. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say as it pertains to her. I can only take her and barely take her in dosages. Let me move on to the next one. Now, this one right here was very interesting. Very interesting. And I'm mad that this guy who's an albino, clearly, who has blonde real hair, like on the side, has this black comb over the top. Like, what the hell is that? What's all that about? But anyway, it says Atlanta-based activist faces federal fraud charges over BLM funds. And I'm willing to bet you he is not the only fraudster in the bunch. Atlanta-based activist is facing federal wire fraud and money laundering charges after authorities said he spent more than $200,000 in donations intended for the BLM movement. $200,000. Sir Major Page, age 32, was arrested on Friday after authorities said he used donations for the social justice movement on tailored suits, guns, and a home in Ohio. Oh, he was going on a supreme spree. Page ran a Facebook page called BLM of Greater Atlanta and solicited money through a GoFundMe account, the FBI said in a news release. Between April 2018 and May 2020, the group's balance never exceeded $5,000, but donations started pouring in earlier this year after George Floyd's death at the hands of Minneapolis police, officials said. Now look at that. Between April 2018, 2 years ago, to 2020, which was the month that George Floyd was killed, May, the group's balance never exceeded $5,000. But only after George Floyd was murdered did it exceed that. They said the BLM of Greater Atlanta raised nearly $470,000 between June and August, and the funds were transferred to an account that was owned and operated by Page. Excuse me. So $470,000, and he took $200,000 of that money to spend on suits, guns, and a home. Now, I've read where they said that the I'm guessing, if you want to call the organizers of BLM, came out and said that they don't know who this guy is. I'm kind of side-eyeing that one. Like, how do you not know who this person is? And so you just let them run amok and claim this title. But see, that's how that organization rolls. They just let anybody just come up and through there and do whatever they want. And meanwhile, they had a whole fraudster right under their nose. And the thing is, them people who donated that money ain't gonna get it back. That's why I'm very careful with who I donate my money to. I'm very careful. I'm very strategic about who I donate my money to, no matter who it is. And you always have to vet the people that you give money to or organizations. It says investigators said Page responded to private messages online assuring their donors money would be used to fight for George Floyd and that all funds were for movement-related expenses. Between June and August, however, Page is accused of using a debit card linked to the account to buy food, entertainment, tailored suits, and a new security system. An investigation was launched after authorities received a complaint that Page was fraudulently using the account to raise hundreds of thousands of dollars for himself. Numerous videos and live stream videos were posted to Page's personal social media pages showing himself in what appeared to be newly purchased clothing, hotel rooms, and office space in Atlanta. Several audio statements are made by Page in the videos, boasting about the money he has, his tailored suits, his nice cufflinks, and $150 ties. He is also accused of spending $112,000 on a home, an adjacent lot in Toledo, Ohio, and transferring donations into his personal account to buy a pistol and 2 rifles earlier this month. Shoot, he probably bought that stuff because when people found out he was taking all that money, he was like, I'm gonna have to blast my way out of here because then people are gonna be running up on me like it's World War Z. He says, in all, the 32-year-old is accused of spending more than $200,000 in donations with no identifiable purchase or expenditure for social or racial justice. Oh, it was there. It was all in his bank account, though. It says he was arrested Friday morning in Toledo and charged with 1 count of wire fraud and 2 counts of money laundering. Like I said, be careful with who you donate to, because now them people ain't gonna get that money back. This guy was trying to pull a Bernie Madoff, or how most of these pastors are out here. But hey, it is what it is. Let's see. Let's go on to the next story. Okay. So y'all know I did a video about this man, both of these men, Ronald Green and Chris Hollingsworth. Now, I couldn't find, at the time when I did the video talking about Chris Hollingsworth, I could not find a picture of him at the time, but this is his picture right here. Ronald Green is right here, and this is Chris Hollingsworth. If y'all don't remember, Chris Hollingsworth, the palm-colored man, beat Ronald Green, the black man, to death back in 2019. And then tried to, they tried to lie and say what it was when it really wasn't. And then all of a sudden, he ends up dying, quote unquote, in a car accident. And he had his funeral just recently. They said it was a secretly held funeral. Like, why is it a secret? Now, I've had many people come and say that they don't believe that this man is actually dead. They said they would like to see a body before they can confirm or say whether it is or if he is not dead. And I can't be mad at that, because you never know what kind of stuff they try to pull. But what recently just came out is that a Mike caught Louisiana trooper implicated in black man's death admitted to beating him. Here's a quote. He was spitting blood everywhere, and all of a sudden he just went limp. Here's another quote. I beat the ever-loving out of him, choked him, and everything else, trying to get him under control. Now I have a question, and this was something swirling around in my head when I first read this quote. Well, it's not really a question, it's just a statement. Ever notice that when PC goes in on black people, they go in with the most harshest, intense levels of, I would say, punishment possible. He said, I beat the ever-loving, out of him, choked him, and everything else trying to get him under control. Would he have done that to a palm-colored man or woman of any age? He was so aggressive with this black man, and he said it right here, basically. The brutality used against Green, that was not what his family was told. It appears that Mr. Green was sat upon by several officers, which means they sat on him, who tased him repeatedly and beat him before he entered cardiac arrest. Now, like I said, there was a picture that I saw, but I didn't show it. But I described to y'all in my live stream, well, not my live stream, my video, how he looked. Ronald Green had a gash on the top of his head, so his head was cracked open. He had multiple bruising. It looked like he had internal bleeding and regular bleeding. Like his face was mangled. Not bad to the point where he was unrecognizable, but it was bad. Now, here's a picture of Ronald Green, and here's his car. And the way that they described it, when you look at his car, it does not coincide with what actually happened. But yeah, that's what they picked up on him. That he was basically going all the way full throttle on this man. Like he wanted to kill him. Like it's almost like when they do and attack us the way that they do, it's almost on the level of it being so personal. Like they are really, really, really going in for the kill. Or the attempted killing, I should say. That's one reason why they don't want them those body cameras and stuff like that. Anything that can pick up audio or video. That's why they don't want that stuff, because they can't speak freely. But yeah, Chris Hollingsworth, even in death, is still and will always remain a piece of shit. It's just that now he will be like that. He'll be that way eternally. All right, let's move on. Oh, we getting closer and closer. So put a 1 in the chat if you watched the debate or so-called debate. Put a 1 in the chat if you watched the debate, or a 2 if you didn't. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I did not watch the debate, not because I didn't want to, but because on that day of the debate, I was actually on a podcast. So that's what I was doing, and I couldn't watch it. But I did watch highlights of it, and I did watch people's response to it. And I'm gonna tell you something. What I saw and what I heard looked like two big ass kids fighting in the sandbox over who has the bigger bucket. That's what it looked like to me. That's what it sounded like to me. Mind you, both of these men are in their 70s. And you got to say to yourself, if this is who you have to pick or choose from as far as the next president, we are screwed. Now, of course, we see it from our standpoint because we're here. Imagine what people across the world are saying. They're probably saying everything from, I'm glad that I don't live in America, I don't have to visit, or anything like that, to just shaking their head with the rest of us. Like you had 45 talking about Joe Biden's son, although what he said about his son being a cokehead is true. That's not that's no secret. Everybody knows that his son is on that stuff. But if Joe Biden was quick on his feet when he brought up about the military, all he would have had to do to shut that down was 2 words: bone spurs. That's all he had to say was bone spurs. Or draft dodge. But he's not quick on his feet like that. Then, of course, he came at him about the taxes and everything like that. And while we're talking about the taxes, 45, you only pay $750 in the last few years on your taxes. Meanwhile, the rest of us out here who don't even have the, alleged money that you do have are paying way more. I wish all I had to pay was $750 in taxes. And I'm sure everybody who is watching this stream right now wishes the same thing. Because basically what he was doing was taking like the money and he was siphoning it off to other locations so he wouldn't have to pay that much, mostly to his kids. And I had said to myself, he must have pissed somebody off. He must have pissed off somebody in the higher up for them to release that information, because they've been trying to get his tax information for years. They've been trying to get a hold of them documents for years. And the thing is, we will probably never know who was the person responsible for leaking that information or getting that information out there. They're going to keep them anonymous. They're going to keep them taken care of. They like, look, we want you to do this, put this out there. We're going to give you some cover. We're going to give you some money. We're going to put you here. Do not talk to anybody. You know nothing. We don't know you. As a matter of fact, what just happened did not happen. Can somebody block Lila Catherine? Because they are spamming the hell out of this chat. I don't know who that is, but they keep spamming 000 over and over again and kept saying it ever since I brought up 45's tax information. I don't know who that is, but please block. Thank you. But yeah, like I said, I wish I could have paid that much money in my taxes. I know what I paid in taxes last year did not look nothing like that. But this should be very interesting going forward, if it really goes forward, which helps me to transition into the part of the video or the part of the stream that many of you came here for. And shout out to everybody who is now here in the chat. As a matter of fact, this is perfect. This is exactly why I said I'm saving these last two topics for the end, because I knew more people was going to show up for this part. And that is this part right here. But I can't simply and merely talk about this part without a certain, how can I put it, theme to it. Y'all knew it was coming. Y'all waited all day for this. Y'all waited all day and night for this one. So 45 got the woo-woo. I bet when he woke up, he probably thought he was gonna be the last person to get this, especially after all those times he kept talking about, oh, it's fake, it's a hoax, it's not real. All you got to do is ingest some Clorox, take some hydrochloroquine, and you don't need to wear a mask. Open all the states back up. We need to get the economy back on track. And look at what happened. Look at what happened. He ended up getting one of the last things he ever thought he would get. Him and his wife, his mail order bride of a wife. So now he has to quarantine, quote unquote, for 2 weeks. Now, how ironic he gets this when the next debate is on the 15th. And I think that's going to run into the debate. And by the way, they came out and said that Mike Pence is negative for the virus, and so is Joe Biden and his wife. Now they ended up getting it. Now many people are saying that they're thinking that this is a stunt to get out of the debates or somehow garner sympathy. Listen, I feel nothing either way. I feel absolutely nothing either way. I'm trying to see what else. Oh yeah. The funniest part about this is his supporters. Have anybody seen how his supporters been reacting today? I haven't gotten the chance to go and watch any of his supporters' timelines because I really don't care. They're probably freaking out right now. But I bet they are probably crying their eyes out right now because they're probably saying to themselves, "Oh, I thought 45 couldn't get it. Did you really think he was invincible?" The woo-woo, like the internet, is undefeated. When I heard about that, listen, shout out to Lisa and True Royal, and I think True Royal is in this chat. Shout out to the both of them because they went, they did a live stream last night or earlier this morning when we found out that that's what he had. And when I tell you, I said I could come on here right now and do a pre-recorded video talking about this, but I said, nah, I'm gonna do a live Triple P because it's rare that I do a live one. But I'm just curious to see how his supporters are going to be. Because, they were saying, oh, I don't got to wear a mask. Listen, this is the perfect opportunity to throw this in their face that they got to wear a mask now. Why I got to wear one? Because your president has it. Your president got it. Now, many people are saying they don't believe that he got it. It might be fake and everything like that. I said, what would he stand from lying about having this? And even if he is, he's going to have to play it off because he said that he's positive. So whether he's lying or if he's being truthful, the word positive is going to stand out. So, and then they said they got it. Did he get it from that Hope Hicks woman? They said it was from a woman named Hope Hicks. So either he got it from her or she got it from him and he didn't know he had it. Now they said Melania and him are showing mild symptoms of it. To be honest, I think 45 had it longer than what they're saying. I think he probably had it before this, but it's just now he's actually feeling it. In my honest opinion, I think that's what it is. But who's probably having the biggest laugh right now? China. China is probably cracking the hell up right now after he done called it the Chinese flu, the Kung flu, and any other thing that he could that would insult the country and nation of China. They are probably the ones having the biggest laughs out of all right now. They don't really open up their news sources to the rest of the world, but I'm sure they are open to hearing about this. And shout out to UK Bob for the donation. He says his MAGA coon supporters are also crying. Good, let them cry. And I hope that coonstress is crying the hardest. Her, Kubrick Zirconia and polyester, Tim Scott, the Jigaboon, who else? It's so many, unfortunately. All of them. Hope they're all crying. As well as his palm colored constituents like Mitch McConnell, Ron DeSantis, Mike Pence. Mike Pence is probably nervous right now. Although the scary part is that he could probably, run things for a little bit, but who knows how that'll be. But we shall see. But all I can say is that's what he gets. That is what he gets. And you got people out there saying, how dare you talk bad about a president? They must not be familiar with my material. I talk about everybody. That's probably why they be trying to shadow ban my shit, but it is what it is. All right, I'm done, y'all. I think I already said too much, but yeah. Oh, that was fun. I know Mike Pence tested negative. I said that in the video. I mean, in that little portion right there. I know he tested negative. But you have some people out there that's like, how dare you talk about him and everything like that? Like, not to give him any cover, but y'all said way worse about Obama when he was in office. So some of y'all was actually, trying to send all. I can't count how many times they gave that man death threats. Like I said, this is not me defending 44, but it's just speaking the facts. But you know what it also means? That those mammies and those cold colonizing cohorts, their time is slowly winding down. Exactly, Senior 34. They cannot call it a hoax anymore. They can no longer call it a hoax. I just might go over there and see what they're saying. Not right now, though, but probably afterwards. Just to see what they're talking about. Just to see where their headspace is at. But they can no longer say that it is fake. They got to eat their words now. I bet you now they'll take a little bit more precaution. But like 45 says, it is what it is. But before I go on to the next part where I have to go in on the jigaboon, that so-called platinum plan, I watched Jason Black, Professor Black Truth, and Tariq pull and pick that thing apart. And let me tell you right now, just like what the Democrats are giving us, that's a bunch of lip service too. I can't count how many times I saw the word minority in there. A lot of people got excited and didn't read the small print of the plan, so-called plan. What I did find to be funny, though, is how many non-black people, meaning anybody who's not under the classification of black, get butt hurt behind it. I was reading through some of those comments where people was talking about it, and you had PC, Asian, maybe Hispanic, maybe under those comment sections talking about why are they doing that for black people? What shouldn't it be for everybody? Shoot, they giving Gavin Newsom hell right now in California because they said that they're trying to do some kind of reparation study out there. They're getting mad at a study, something that's not even concrete that the people of California are even going to get. They're mad at a study, which is some BS as well. We don't need no more studies. I did a whole video talking about if the GOP would not have stolen $16 trillion over the last 2 decades, we wouldn't be having this discussion right now. But because we live in a nation where their ego is so wrapped up and so tight knit, this is the position we are in. If they had just leveled the playing field and everything was even, this would be one piece of a financial whole that would not exist. But see, they didn't think that far ahead. They were only thinking for the moment. Exactly, Robbie. Everybody gonna be claiming that they black, just like they did with the Native Americans and the $5 Indian thing. Look at how many people now that got exposed last month for pretending to be black. That's gonna rev up. They're gonna run out into them to those tanning beds and into those spray tans. They're gonna run like Usain Bolt out here. And then I had to go in a little bit on Twitter because Palm Color loved to say, "Oh, you don't deserve reparations because you weren't a slave and we didn't own any slaves." I said, "You idiots! The reparations extends far past chattel slavery. It's stuff that happened after it as well, in which trickled down into modern day. There's a laundry list as to why black people in America who are born here, who are from here, deserve reparations. And we're going to get it. one way or another. And the thing about it is, there's not a goddamn thing you can do about it except sit your ass down and mind your goddamn business. Now, with that being said, I'm going to move on to the next topic, which is probably one of the last topics. The Jigaboon. I said last night on Twitter, I had to mentally prepare myself for this topic right here. Because every day, probably since the grand jury hearing, if you want to call it that, there has been something new that has come out about this case. And it has his name attached to it every single time. I just got a notification coming on my phone that said that 45 is in good spirits and he's being treated with an antibiotic cocktail, whatever the hell that is. But anyway, back to the Jigaboon. There has literally been something that has come out every single day about this guy involving this case for the last week. And I said, I can't bring myself to do a video every day talking about him. So I'm going to wait until Friday to talk about it because I know it's going to pile up. And sure enough, it did. Even today when something came out. The latest thing that came out was that they have released, or the judge has agreed to release, that 20 hours worth of audio to the public. That means it's out there now. So anybody who is watching me right now can go and find it and listen to it. And I think they said they broke it up into like 4 sections. So it's for public consumption. And that's rare that they do that. They usually never do that. But because the case is such a high profile case, they decided to go ahead and do it. And it's rare that a juror comes out and demands that it be released. Shout out to you, Solo Dolo. Says lock him up with the race soldiers. Something tells me that after this occurs, that's exactly what's going to happen. One of the other latest things that I heard that I didn't really see anybody talk about, but I posted it up on my Twitter account, is that there's this guy, I think in Kansas. His name is Wesley. I forgot his last name. He's 29 years old. Issued out a public, I can say PSA. I'll put it that way, PSA to the Jigaboon. He basically said, Daniel Cameron, if you do not do your job and get these terrorists for what they did to Breonna Taylor, I'm going to pull a Liam Neeson from Taken on you. I'll put it that way because I don't want to say exactly what he said. But that's basically what he said. Those of you who have seen Taken know exactly what this guy was alluding to or what he said. Of course, they found him and they ended up arresting him, but you know, it is what it is. It's funny because they arrested him faster than they arrested these terrorists. Well, did they? Well, shoot, they didn't even arrest him. The only one they arrested was Brett Hankerson, and it was for that wanton endangerment, in which, by the way, I found out he pled not guilty to. So this guy doesn't even want to take responsibility for even shooting into the walls that was connected to her neighbors. He doesn't want any responsibility for what he did. Now, another thing I heard was they ran a ballistics test. And it might turn out, and I had called this like early on, that the bullet that hit one of those terrorists, I forgot which one it was, the one who got shot in the leg, may not have come from Kenneth Walker's gun. And it's funny, someone has said something in the chat that someone said something in the chat. I'm trying to figure out who it was. Something about someone getting donations. The one who got shot is the one that's trying to get the donations. And I think he set up a GoFundMe or something like that, and people, of course, donated to him. I'm not surprised. But it turns out that that bullet may not have belonged to Kenneth Walker. And if they prove that, then that means they would have arrested Kenneth Walker on false charges of attempted murder, which means Kenneth Walker can now sue them and go after them. And if that comes out to be true, I hope he does. And I mean, I'm talking show no mercy. But I had called that because they compared the guns, because it was two different guns used. I think Kenneth Walker had a I want to say he had was it a 40? And the terrorist had a 9. So the bullets didn't match. Or what they're saying, that they didn't match. PD said he had a 9mm. Okay. So if that's turned out to be true, then they arrested him back in March on false charges and threw him in jail falsely. And of course, don't forget what they tried to do with her ex, Jamarcus Glover, a couple months ago, trying to get him to throw her under the bus, saying, look, we'll give you probation if you incriminate Breonna Taylor, your ex, and say that she was this and that she was that. It's amazing how they try to brush that part under the rug. I said the lengths that they will go to try to incriminate a dead black woman. And to the black women out there listening to me right now, I want y'all to understand this. How they're treating Breonna Taylor in death right now is how they've been treating black men in death for years. It's just that it's a shock to many because it's unlikely to happen. It doesn't happen often. They didn't even do this with Sandra Bland. With hers, they kind of treated it as an open and shut case. But with hers, it hits a little bit different. That's why I can't take these divestors seriously, especially when you have situations such as these. But I knew something was up with Daniel Cameron when I had first brought him to your attention back in June, when this guy did not look at the case for months. He sat on this case for months. And the first time we hear of him, he's out there getting engaged to this palm-colored woman who was allegedly Mitch McConnell's granddaughter. Now, I say allegedly because people keep saying that he is, but there's nothing confirming that she is. So I'm saying allegedly. And then the next time we see him, they end up married, and then he's at the RNC, and then he decides to finally want to, quote unquote, do something, which was really doing nothing. And like I've told y'all before, like my late uncle always says, do not trust a black man with a clean shaven face if he can grow facial hair. And I've seen this guy's shadow. He can grow facial hair. But see, his back is against the wall. He got too comfortable. He got too arrogant. He got too cocky because he's Mitch McConnell's protege. Meanwhile, who did 45 just nominate to put and replace Ruth Bader Ginsburg? Not him. And the way it's looking right now, as it stands with him right now, how people are coming at his neck, and rightfully so, he won't even get Mitch McConnell's position. And if we're fortunate, if we are all fortunate, and the people of Louisville are fortunate in Kentucky, he won't have his position for very long either. Appreciate what's going on, Gamer G. Salute to you for coming through. You're right, Dark Void. He does kind of look like Dr. Conrad Murray a little bit. But what really got me is the fact that when he was reading off that document for the grand jury, is the smirk on his face as he was reading it. He thought it was funny. He thought it was entertaining to read that his precious law enforcement was not going to face anything. Appreciate you, Solo Dole. He says this is a blatant cover-up. It is. But guess what? It's being uncovered. I have to give a shout out to that juror who came forward and made the claim, because they could have kept that to themselves. And I hope that they allow them to remain anonymous, which I'm sure they're going to. Somebody on there had a conscience. It definitely not this guy on the screen. But he is one of the worst people walking the face of the earth right now. Ever since I first learned about this guy, I was disgusted with him. I have no nice or kind things to say about him. And not to get off of him, but let's not also forget that Brett Hankinson, the one who got charged with the wanton endangerment, he went back into Kenneth Walker and Breonna Taylor's apartment after the shooting happened to go collect the shell casings. Now, why would you go do that? Why would you do that? Because he has something to hide. And then also take into consideration when Breonna Taylor's mother had came out a couple months ago and said that the area in which they live in is going through gentrification. They were trying to, quote unquote, move them up out of there. Because notice they said that the bullets that went into the neighbor's wall, that the neighbors were white. They didn't say they were black. They were trying to get her up out of there. And the stuff that they did, the underhanded trickery that they did to pull this off, you would have thought that they were going after one of the biggest, most wanted people ever. They treated her as if she assassinated some world leader. Like she was America's most wanted. They treated her like she was a terrorist. Got all these people up here saying she was a drug dealer and all that. That's another reason why I can't stand the Coonsters. That skank came out on video and was saying how Breonna Taylor was a drug dealer, a dope dealer, whatever it was. And I had left a comment, and I stand firmly by this. I said, that's funny coming from a woman that if you put a line of coke right in front of her, there's not a line of coke in the world she would not snort. With or without being with child. I said, when this thing blows over, I hope that Kenneth Walker and Breonna Taylor's family take a tally, take names of every person that says something disparaging about her and sue every last one of them until there's not even lint left in their pockets for defamation of character. Because this is just absolutely ridiculous. That the lengths that they would go to incriminate a dead woman. And by the way, speaking of her being a woman, where's all these women's groups at? Where's all these quote unquote women empowerment groups and all these feminist groups at? The ones that's supposed to be uplifting women and taking care of women. Where are they at? They've been absolutely quiet this entire time. I haven't heard a peep from them. That's why I said feminism for Black women did not work. It wasn't meant for you. It's not for you. It actually helped ruin many. And I'm not going to say those who aren't even feminists or anything like that, but it helped ruin you in the sense that it didn't benefit those back then, but it trickled down, had a bad trickle down effect to the generations to come. And even with all of this stuff coming out now, you still have people out there with these blatant talking points talking about, well, she was still a queen pin. They have this on her. They have that on her, to completely duck and dodge what this guy did. What he did is technically illegal and goes against his position as an attorney general. And that's the thing right there. We always say we need Black people in these positions. We need to vet those Black people to put in these positions, because just based on his actions alone, in the short amount of time that we've known of him, he was not vetted by us. Like I said, he is a protege of Mitch McConnell. That is all you need to know and hear. And this guy right here is the type of Black person that PC loves. This is the kind of Black person that they want us to be, that they hate that we aren't. They hate it. Why do you think they always say, oh, Candace Owens is going to be the next president? Oh, Charles Barkley, he should be governor. Oh, Daniel Cameron is doing an amazing job. But mention Farrakhan, oh, he's an anti-Semitic. He's an anti this, he's an anti that. Oh, LeBron James, he should just shut up and dribble. Colin Kaepernick, he's disrespectful to the nation. See the difference? When you do what he does, or what the Coonstress does, or the cubic zirconia and polyester, even though they got thrown out on their Snorlax looking selves on their butt, you get propped up by them. But if you don't, you get chastised. Notice when the Coonstress had made them comments about the stash. I'm not going to say his name. When he made that comment about the stash, notice that not all of them, quote unquote, canceled her. As a matter of fact, you don't even hear them talk about that anymore. They act as if it didn't happen. That's how they treat it. They act like she didn't make those comments. She needs the Paris Denard treatment. For those of you who don't know who I'm talking about when I say the stash, I'm going to just say Germany. That's your next hint. I'm not going to say anything after that, because I don't want to say their name on here. But they completely glossed that over and tried to make it seem like what she said was not that bad. And I'm like, let's hold on. Let's find out if any of you are part of the J community right quick. But then again, she probably doesn't. Well, she probably does have many of them following her, but she probably has just as many who are not following her either. But yeah, she's trash, and we are going to continue to ridicule her until she's done with. Like I said, when she gets that Paris Denard treatment, it's a wrap. Notice we don't hear about him no more. When he had made them comments against that white guy on that was it CNN? They started digging up all his dirt and put it out there for consumption, and you ain't heard from him since. And that was like 3 years ago. I think since then we've only seen him one time, and that's it. And by the way, I don't know why I forgot to mention this. All of this that I just talked about, what happened with the Jigaboon and what happened with 45, that happened on Nat Turner's birthday. Isn't today's Nat Turner's birthday? I think today's his birthday. Appreciate you, Bishop. He's supporting my interest. Hashtag double and appreciate you. I think today is Nat Turner's birthday. This just got even better. Shout out to UKM Hearts. He says they taking Trump to the hospital. Hold on. Oh, snap. So I just got someone just sent me a message, and shout out to you, Seiji Hito, for the Cash App. They said that 45 just got taken to the hospital. Yeah, they just said that 45 got taken to Walter Reed Medical Center and will spend a few days there after getting the virus. I guess that cocktail didn't work. I guess that cocktail did not work. Appreciate you, Solo Doe. Says rest in power, Nat Turner. Exactly. As a matter of fact, go watch Birth of a Nation today to celebrate Brother Turner. Dark Voice said, I bet Bed Winch Joy Villa is upset. Yeah. Now listen, Bea Winches can come in from any form of fashion. They don't all have to be black, and she's one of them. She's a Hispanic one wearing that ugly dress. Remember, she wore that Trump dress a couple years ago, and she thought she was making a statement. Just like Michelle Malkin, she's an Asian Bea Winch trying to get Dirty Dick Danny free after he had raped and molested all those black women in Kentucky all them years ago, and that was poetic justice because he got sentenced to all them years on his birthday, which is coming up next month. He gets tested for the woo-woo and goes to the hospital with the woo-woo on Nat Turner's birthday. That, man, interesting. Very interesting. Well, I guess I know what's trending right now on Twitter, and I know his base is probably losing it again. They haven't really had a good night's rest, but who cares? Let those bags and crow's feet collect up under their eyelids. I guess now would be a good time as ever to try one of their home remedies, like that Clorox. And you know what's so crazy? That guy said that let me stop sharing my screen because I'm done talking about the Jigaboon. That guy said that he took hydrochloroquine back in, what was it, April? Right around the time when he says that the virus would be gone by Easter. And here we are it's almost Halloween. If he took hydrochloroquine to prevent him from getting the woo-woo and he got it, somebody's lying. Somebody is lying. But it is, like he says, what it is. But I'm going to go ahead and get up off of here. I've already talked and covered about everything I wanted to talk about. Shout out to you, Gnome King. Says Nat Turner still slaying palm-colored people from the grave. The realest black man ever. Salute Nat Turner and John Brown. And so many others. So many others. But shout out to everybody who came through. This is probably one of my highest viewed so far live streams in a very long time. So I guess the notifications did work. Shout out to everybody that came through. Shout out to everybody who donated. Like I said, my new upload schedule is 10 a.m., 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. there will no longer be any 9 and 12 p.m. uploaded videos on my channel due to the algorithm saying that if I want the notifications to go out, they can only be 3 uploads a day. Well, 3 uploaded videos that will get the notification sent out. And at those times, that's when my audience is more active during that time period. So remember, if you have to write it down, 10 a.m., 4 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when the videos will go up. So with that being said, I'm about to get up off of here. I hope y'all enjoy the rest of your Friday. I'm glad that y'all were able to come through. Share this stream with anybody who needs to hear it, if they, wasn't able to catch it or whatever the case may be. And with that being said, I will talk to you all in the next one.